Very welcome all of you. So today's topic about CAPA. What is the full form of the CAPA? CAPA is corrective and preventive actions. So in CAPA, it can be maintained, can be practiced, or can be seen in the various organizations. It is a part of any conformity maintenance, and so it can be seen in anywhere in any bigger organizations. But today we'll talk about the CAPA in respect of European medical device regulations or any medical device regulations. We'll talk about in that way. So let's first understand what is the corrective actions. So before getting into the medical perspectives or medical device regulation perspectives, let me describe this European medical. Let me describe these corrective actions in a very common way, in very more generic way. Like the same things happen in the different organization, which is not related with the medical device regulations, but maybe in terms of human resources. So in terms of human resources, what could be the corrective actions? So first we understand in this way, and then we will understand the same thing in the medical device perspectives. So let's understand this corrective actions. Okay. So suppose there is any particular organizations where there is any kind of workplace out there, and among that workplace, there are various employees are working, and one of the employee who brings some oily food, and somehow accidentally that food is fall from his hand and it's spoiled over the surfaces, and that person will not notify, or that person's left that food the same way it's happened. He didn't do any kind of work and he moved away from that place. Now another employee come to that place accidentally. He slipped down, he has not noticed those spoiled oil or food over the surface, and accidentally he slipped over that surface and he got a knee injury. So that knee injury is called the incident. Okay, in terms of medical device regulation, we'll talk about the non-conformity. Okay, so it is basically any kind of incident, it's any kind of non-conformities. Now that person got the injury at his knees, then whoever the company personnel or who are the designated persons who take that person to the hospital for the proper treatment to avoid any further adverse events, or maybe the further, if that particular injury can become the prone, to avoid that particular injury to become very prone or to become very more adverseful. So proper treatment get started to that employee. So that is the one thing what we have done. So the thing which is done for the treatment is called the corrections. Okay, because that employee directly go to the doctors and get a proper treatment. So we rectified that injury with a proper treatment. So that is called the correction, because it is very immediate. So correction is completely immediate effect. So anything in response to the incident or in response to the non-conformity, if any immediate actions has been taken in response to the injury, in response to the non-conformity, then that is called corrections or rectifications. You did corrections, you did rectifications. Again, this is not a corrective actions. Okay, now what will be the corrective actions? So corrective actions are those actions plans or those steps or those protocols which avoid further same incident happens again. Okay, so all actions plans, all protocols, okay, and all policies which avoid to repeat the same incident, injury, or non-conformity in a future, which avoid these things in a future, those policies are called the corrective actions. So let's understand in this aspect, like in this scenario, in common office work scenario, what are the corrective actions, because it gives us very good clarity to understand this corrective action. Then after this we will move to the European medical device perspectives. Now, so that HR personnel who are the head of that organization, who just make some policy to not to bring food on a common workspace. It is only can be eaten or can be carry on a particular designated place. That is the first step they can do. The second step, they can employ a particular cleaning person to check regularly if anything or mishap is happening, and they on the same time they can install a camera also to monitor, to get a 24/7 monitoring. So suppose they can catch, if suppose any incident happens again, then they can catch who have done and who have not done. So in that aspects, the third step they can do, that they can implement a strong penalty if they find any person who did this mistakes. Fourth, they can put a warnings over some that particular area, not to take food out from that particular designated place. They can put such kind of warnings also. And the fifth, like they can again, that is called the firing or something, because if any strong or some any drastic things happens due to such mishap, then that person has to leave this organization. So such kind of penalty, or not such kind of penalty, such kind of firing policies also we can make. So these are the common understanding, like what are, so these are the corrective actions. So why I make this example, because it gives you very good clarity what is the difference between the corrections or rectifications versus corrective actions plans. Okay, so these are the general differences between that. This is the how we understand this. Now let's understand the same corrective actions in terms of European medical device regulation. So in case of European medical device regulation, in case of medical device manufacturing company, what are the correction rectifications and what are the corrective actions plans? We need to understand this. So let us understand it. So any manufacturer company manufacturing medical devices, okay, now for getting manufacturing of the medical devices, various steps are involved. Maybe all steps has been done in the same manufacturing company, or maybe possible some part of that steps done somewhere else, and then they import in their company, and then further steps has been taken for developing any kind of medical devices. So suppose in medical devices they find any faultiness or any misconfigurations, such things where the device is not able to function properly, and this manufacturing company come to know about it by getting the PMCF report, or by PMS report, or maybe PSUR report, or anything like from the market or from the healthcare personnel. They come to know about this. Now once they come to know it is due to the faultiness of the medical devices, so that is the non-conformities. Okay, they find the incident, they find, so that thing has been reported to the manufacturer company. Now manufacturer company take the first step to recall that particular medical device. And what that particular device, if I'm talking about the particular device, means particular device in that particular batch, because they need to ensure in which batch these things happening. It's not possible only one batch is affected, and if they find all batch has been affected with the same faultiness, then they need to recall everywhere, every batches from all over the world, like wherever they have marketed that particular medical device, they need to recall it. So that recall by the medical device manufacturing company is called the corrections or rectifications they have done. Now what are the corrective actions among them, then in against of this? So then they need to crack down, like whatever the faultiness they found in their medical device is due to what? It's due to the device design, it's due to the device compositions, because we already rectified is due to the device, only then we recall it. Because if it is not due to the medical device, if it is due to the healthcare personnel, if it is due to the patient, or it's maybe if due to the some kind of handling by some other personnel, their hospital healthcare personnel, then that is a different case. Then we don't need to recall every devices. Okay, so if they recall it means due to the medical device, then they need to rectify it, they need to crack down, like if it is due to the medical device, then why, like in which part of medical device, what part of the medical device causes faultiness, is due to any kind of compositions which making some interference to that optimum use, or this may be due to the particular device design. So they need to study that, they need to correct it, they need to find it. So once they find, suppose here I'm taking just taking the examples of that. Suppose it is okay, let me give the example of both design and composition. Suppose it is due to the design. And suppose a medical device is some spiral in design, and the spiral design is very good, but they find their medical devices are not proper in spiral shape. At some of the portion they lose the spirality, and those are completely either very zigzag, like in zigzag means like sharp zigzag, or maybe it's due to some kind, and some of the medical device portion is a very linear in form. So it means they are not proper in spiral shape, and due to that they find the faultiness. So what are the corrective actions in that respect? So after each and every medical device manufacturing, they need to employ persons, they need to make very robust check of about the particular medical device design, whether it is a spiral or not. And it's may possible once this medical device properly manufactured, and just after manufacturing those are proper in spiral shape, but later due to the packaging or handling they lose their spirality in some part of the medical device. If this was the cause, then they need to rectify, or they need to ensure a very good amount of packaging. And suppose if the packaging is also not able to retain the spirality, packaging, why I'm saying packaging, because maybe some external pressure due to the transportation and all, it may cause lose in a proper shape of that medical device. So that is why we need to ensure the hard case of packagings and everything. But if we find no, it is not due to the packaging itself, due to the the kind of composition, the kind of material what we have used, when they are fresh, so they have the good in that particular shape, but after some point of time they're going to lose it, something like that. Or maybe it's possible due to the temperature difference. Suppose if go to the some arid zones, or with the zones where is a good amount of temperature, that time they lose this spirality, something may possible. So if that thing, then they need to ensure, and they need to inform, or they don't need to sell those particular devices in that particular regions. So they need to put a different kind of policy to check whether it is a intrinsic, whether it is a extrinsic factors which going to make such kind of changes. And for that they need to employ that particular person who make a robust check to that quality person, to make a robust check of that. And so these are the just example I am saying about the corrective actions. It can be anything else. And suppose if it is any kind of due to the compositions, then they need to ensure, they need to again decide, they need to rethink, they again need to do re-research, like which composition is very good and liable and having a good life cycle for getting optimum use of that particular medical device. So for that, whatever the research person they need to hire, they need to employ, whatever the quality person they need to hire, they need to ensure, so they need to do everything. So in that way they're going to make a corrective action for that, recalling everything. Now what will be the preventive actions? The preventive actions, like it should not get repeated again in future. Again the same, the corrective actions they have taken, whatever the for correction step they need to take, they have taken. For the preventive actions, that is not going to be happen, they're going to channelize those things. They need to implement the particular protocol whichever is good very stringently, so each and everyone has to follow. There is no deviations, they need to cut out the deviations, such kind of things, or such kind of actions plan become their preventive actions, where these same thing not going to be repeat again. So like these are the correctives and preventive actions in terms of, in general way, also in terms of medical device perspectives also. So definitely I can describe it many more on this, like exactly if you want to understand with the real example, then definitely just DM me. I will going to explain you each and everything, but but those are not the public videos, because at that time I need to really give you a very exact example of this, of that particular medical device and everything. So definitely that not going to happen in the public, but definitely privately it's going to be possible. So if you want, then just DM me. I'm going to make a proper lecture and presentations on that. So this is for now about the corrective and preventive actions. If you still have any confusions and questions, just drop a message, comments on that. And so that's it for now, and we will meet with some another video with some another topic. So till then, bye, take care.